Durner, 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 durner. If you guys like swim baits, you're definitely gonna want to stay tuned to see what's inside this box. Welcome to mikeybalzz Fishing, my homies. I got kind of a cool video for you. The weather is totally crappy outside. It is raining. I'm all bundled up because we're going right into winter. Like, the cold time is here, and that's actually why we're doing this video. So one thing I talked to you guys about last year is that I want to get more into swim bait fishing. I'm also cheap though, so like there's this fine line that I can kind of walk, but I've definitely been kind of romanced into all this allure to swim bait fishing, and there's so many more possibilities with the depth variations up here on the TVA, a lot of 6 to 8 foot, a lot of mid-depth ranges, and they target these giant baits, dude. There's so many big gizzard shad and big shad out on these lakes. Even like the small like spotted bass eat these freaking mondo baits. So I'm kind of fired up to try out some of these swim baits. And what I haven't told you about is I've been collecting a few swim baits here and there and kind of putting together a small collection. And I'm not going to show you all of them, but I want to show you a few of kind of my budget baits as well as some underground stuff that, like, literally I think there's one of them that probably like 3 or 4 people in the United States have. 3 or 4, like, totally rare. It was super realistic. You guys probably actually saw it. My buddy Fido Beto has one. He did an awesome pool video with it swimming. I showed you one on Instagram of it swimming. But we're going to go through. I'm going to tell you where I got them from, kind of tell you some names, what I think I'm going to use them for. But it all, like, I just want to show them to you because that's the one cool things with swim baits is they are so freaking cool to look at and just play with. What is this? So this bait probably has one of the best names out of all of them. It's called the freaking Shizzard. This is the Shizzard. So I shot a video with my buddy Kobe Pelrito.
Dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Kobe, you're a freaking beast, dude. You're an absolute. Hold on. Good. Dude, you are an absolute beast. You are an absolute. Double dap on one dap, dude. Oh my god, you are a beast.
Awesome photographer. Go check him out. Take some beautiful pictures. But we posted that video. Kobe caught like a 6-pounder on this super pressured bank, like out in spring, and he was throwing this. He threw this bait literally to the same spot like 9 times. We didn't know there was a bed there. I'm assuming the fish was on a bed or cruising, but he threw it to the same spot. It's a glide style bait, about 2 to 3 foot of water, and dude smashed this fish. After we saw like 3 boats fish the same, it was a crazy experience. But the funny part was he kind of told me a little bit about it, but then like somebody commented down in the bottom of the video, and the dude's like, dude just busted out the Shizzard. So I didn't know there was such like a lore to these. This is a totally custom bait, and I need to thank my boy Kevin the Baitman Baxter. Check him out on YouTube, throw him a sub. He actually got me one that I bought off of him, and he described it. He's got a video up, go check it out, about sending me the bait. He described it the best though. This thing doesn't look like much. I'll be the first to admit, dude. It's real fishing, #real fishing. Doesn't look super fancy. It looks super like handmade. But this thing in the water and just the way the fish react to it. I saw Kobe catch 2 fish and saw him get like 3 or 4 follows. All fish like 4 pounds and up, dude. It is crazy looking in the water. It has beautiful action, and I think part of the reason is it's such a flat-sided bait. We always talk about like flat-sided crankbaits and that tight kind of like walk. This thing freaking walks and glides in the water. Awesome. It's got kind of that soft rubber tail, not super duper soft, but it also has kind of a simple, kind of flat like paint finish, which I kind of like. I think it's all about shades when it comes to finish. There's a lot of swim baits that are super beautiful, which I'm down with, and I'm actually going to show you one of the prettiest swim baits I've ever seen. But this thing's super simple, and it's all about the action. Got your straight line tie right there, but I'm really fired up to throw this. And one of the reasons that I'm so fired up to throw some of these swim baits is, you probably remember from some of the videos last year, I got on some awesome like bluff wall bites, some mid-lake kind of like break bites, off like a little rock ledge or chunk rock. Just really cool areas to throw these kinds of glide baits like right over, and the water's pretty clear in a lot of those places. It's like a green, kind of slightly stained, but you usually get like 4-foot visibility or so. Just perfect like swim bait area, plus the shad gets super big. But if you want to check this thing out, I'm going to put links to where you can find most of these down in the description box. This is the Shizzard though. Super duper underground, and dude, you're going to see some more of this in the videos because this thing has crazy action. So this thing, you ready for the true unboxing? This gentleman You find him on Instagram. RW Holman is his handle on Instagram. He made this thing for me. This thing is the craziest, most realistic looking glide bait that I have ever seen. And it has like, well, unbox. You got to see this thing. It's seriously, dude, like, look at this. Is that not the coolest thing that you have ever seen? I'm actually like afraid to take it out of the package sometimes. So this is the most realistic glide bait I've ever freaking seen. Super simple. It's got kind of those flat sides like the Shih Tzu. It's got that awesome gloss kind of finish. One treble, has a custom super supple tail, like super supple. And it even has, you see the little dangle fin on there, just like a gizzard shad. I bet you it's about 6.5 to 7 inches, probably about 7 inches or so. Don't know how much this thing weighs because it's, like I said, it's totally custom. But like, look at the eyes. Look, I'm so freaking fired up to throw this. What's interesting too is it's a line through. You can see the hole right there. 100% disclosure. I haven't thrown this thing because I wanted to shoot the video of talking about it because God forbid I should lose the thing like on the first cast, which wouldn't be like, I wouldn't put it past me to do that. I've done so many stupid things with fishing lures and fishing rods and such. So I wanted to show you guys because beyond, one of the cool things about these swim baits is beyond them being like awesome for catching giant fish, especially this fall through like winter, pre-spawn kind of springtime of year. Like this is kind of like crossing on like a work of art, dude. Like this takes craftsmanship. It takes knowing what you're doing with tools, with your hands, and having like an artistic vision that is second to none. But that thing's beautiful. RW Holman on Instagram, and thank you, bro. I hope you're watching this video. Like this thing, I almost don't want to throw it. I want to put it in a picture frame, but I'm gonna throw it because catching a fish on this thing will absolutely blow my mind. But it's a line through glide style bait. Just super stoked to freaking try this thing out. Like, dude, is that not the most realistic, crazy looking thing? Like, I don't even know if the GoPro can give you the dimensions of the gill plate. It's the artistry on this thing is amazing, dude, and I'm so fired up. I bet you Kobe Pellerito would be real jealous. He's got the Shih Szu, but I got the most realistic glide bait ever to walk the earth. So we busted out the Shih Szu. Literally, that's one of like my favorite comments on the YouTube videos. But we busted out some shad style swim baits. I want to show you too. Kevin the Baitman Baxter sent me this guy too. This is pretty cool. I think it's called JDM, so it's basically like Japanese available only bait. But look at that. It's a tri-joint swim bait. I don't even, dude, because it's in that language, I don't even know what it does. I don't know if it floats. I don't know what the hell it does, but that's cool because it's going to be all the more fun to get out there and throw. I'm assuming it's either like a slow float or a slow sink, just with the body style on that. But tri-jointed, like usually these things will S right over stuff, and that's actually what I'm excited about. We still have some grass, and it hasn't been washed out of the Tennessee River bodies of water, Pickwick, Guntersville. This will be kind of solid for going over those grass flats, especially the little bit deeper ones if we get some super clear water. But once again, the super soft tail, it's very cool. Like, and like I said, there's more romance with these things just like looking at them. Like, I want to fish them, but dude, are they freaking pretty. But I got one more bluegill one for you. This one's pretty bad to the bone. You guys know I love my my Megabass Vision 110s. Look at this joker. Is that not stupid freaking awesome? This is the Battalion 190. It's a slow float. Get this thing out. But once again, it's a brim or a bluegill style bait that gets around the packaging. Now this only has a single joint, and I actually like when they're kind of like a loose joint like that because it leads to a more like kind of erratic tracking. But this thing, I'm assuming it's going to do kind of a fusion glide swim. The two joint baits usually are more like glide oriented, or what we imagine as glide, but this is one of those things that you can reel pretty quick. So I think it's going to get some, what would you call it, like some crankbait vibration, some searching vibration like that, as well as the S kind of back and forth. But dude, just a very I think that's one of the things that sets some of the Megabass baits apart is they have kind of interesting profiles. Even if you look at that Vision 110 up close, Like, the profile is totally unique. It's slightly unique, but it's totally unique. This thing, obviously, from a swim bait standpoint, the way the belly comes up and goes to the tail, this thing is totally unique. But it's a slow float, which will be kind of interesting because you should be able to kind of like walk it or twitch it a little bit with the Battalion. And once again, just, oh, dude, what have I done? Bro. Just like a beautiful finish. Like that brim kind of bull bluegill kind of look to it. That is freaking raw. These last two are pretty sweet, and they kind of got a story behind them. You know, we all have our own like gateways that we get like into certain kinds of fishing with. You know, flipping mats, you know, fishing a Ned rig, fishing finesse, and stuff like that. Well, I can honestly say that really one of the first like hard bait swim baits I ever had success with, and I'm so glad I did because he is probably one of the coolest, nicest dudes ever. Was a Mike Buca freaking bull shad.
Oh my god. 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 She's gonna come off. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh.
But this is not a Mike Buca bullshit. This is a Mike Buca design, but it's like a custom design. It actually has a bill on it, and it's a slow sinking. So you can kind of like walk it through. And this is thanks to Kevin the Baitman Baxter again, dude. He hooked me up with this thing. There's limited ones that are made, actually. But it has this awesome, like the tri-jointed body, classic like Buca bullshit design. But then there's that square bill on there. Because one of the problems that we have, you know, we're afraid to throw them because it's an expensive bait and it's freaking custom, and bouncing it off of rocks or throwing it around cover. And also too, you know, they always have that S kind of like action. What this is going to do, and we talk about it a lot, that lateral line, and why I love throwing that 10XD so much, or like variations of it. You know, that bill displaces a lot of water, and it calls to a different kind of sense in the fish. Yeah, you're going to displace water doing that SDS kind of thing, but that bill is going to create like a secondary shimmy, and it's also going to call those fish in on the, you know, via the lateral line. But classic bullshit design. It's got that kind of like fur tail and that awesome body. I'm excited to throw this guy. This thing's, it's custom, dude. They haven't seen it, and like I said, there's giant shad. But let me show you this other one. And this one's what's really cool. I talked about like how, you know, the Mike Buca stuff was kind of my gateway to getting into swim bait fishing. Well, you know, dude, ow, that really just stuck the hook through my finger. Little baby bull shad. And it's one of Mike Buca's new designs. And you know, not only is this thing going to catch fish, and it's super cool because it's like micro swim baiting, which is something I think is a lost art. Back, God, that had to be like early, mid 2000s or so. Yeah, if you guys remember like the true tungsten swim baits, there were a lot of kind of like medium to small size swim baits out there, and they were super sick, and then they all just kind of disappeared except on like the small time market. But what's neat with this is, dude, it's at a really reasonable price point. And, you know, we always got to be thinking about, like, guys that are coming up and stuff. Dude, like, I was poor as a dog, dude. Fishing the bank and all that back in the day. If you guys go back and look at, like, some of those old videos, fishing out of a freaking John boat. Like, my buddy actually gave me baits once that got me through, like, 2 months because I couldn't afford it. You know, dude, we all come from different places and stuff like that. And this thing is super affordable, so it's cool because a lot of these kids that are fishing the bank and stuff can get out there and they can slang this thing and be slanging like a Mike Buca swim bait from the bank, which I think is pretty freaking awesome. And that's the way things should be going. More accessibility to awesome kind of baits like this. And then you can go wherever you want to go from there. If you want to, you know, jump up to a standard bull shad or get some crazy custom freaking shizzard like that. But it's cool because it's a gateway swim bait drug, and it's definitely going to work. You know, I can imagine a lot of situations with spotted bass and stuff like that, fishing some of those bluff walls and even some of those smally bluff walls where this thing's going to be absolutely sick. I'm super excited to try out those swim baits this year, dude. It's a big fish style bait. I like fishing like that, and it's something totally new to learn, and that's what this whole goal of this move and approaching these new bodies of water was. And it's always fun to throw something kind of like nuanced and unique, dude. And the swim bait, I mean, dude, like, how can you not like get fired up throwing like the shizzard or that like super hyper realistic thing? But we got a little bit of business we got to do before we go. You guys were awesome when I busted my freaking graph, and you made a bunch of comments. Some of you got a little mean, dude. Like, busting my balls pretty hard. But 2 top comments, and you guys chose, they got the most likes on there. One of them came from Gary Rutherford, Gary Rutherford, and Doran Gunter. So if you guys are out there and watching this video, go ahead and hit me up either on Facebook or Instagram. I picked 2 because you guys picked 2 comments that were the best. I'm going to shoot you guys a couple t-shirts and that. But thank you guys for interacting with the videos, dropping all those comments. If you have a swim bait that I need to see, you need to let me know. Drop it down in the comments box. But thank you guys for watching. I can't wait to get out and start slinging some of those swim baits. And you're going to see them. And I'm going to catch fish on them. And it's going to be sick. And it's going to all be on video. So tight lines, we're out. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.